In alhamdulillah, wa salat, wa salam Allah, wa rasulallah. I want to welcome everybody to our new series entitled Establishing Brotherhood in Islam. And this series is so important because it goes hand in hand with what we've been discussing in all of our other classes, which is the importance of us as Muslims incorporating wala wal bara, allegiance and disassociation into our lives, into our interactions with each other. Okay. And again, the greatest role model for all of us as Muslims, the greatest role model for everything that Allah commands us to do. And this is another command. Allah commands us in the Quran to be brothers and sisters in faith. This is a command from Allah, be brothers and sisters in faith. Don't go around hurting each other. Don't go around ridiculing each other. Don't go around slandering each other. The simple fact that we all believe La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah, that means that our life, our property, and our reputations are supposed to be safe with one another. The simple fact that you are another Muslim, even if I don't know you, that means that I can come around you and know that you're not going to kill me because my life is sacred. Even though you're a Muslim and I don't know you, I shouldn't have to worry about whether or not you're going to speak about me behind my back in a bad way, because we're Muslims. Even though I don't know you, I shouldn't have to worry about you stealing from me. I should be able to set my purse down in the masjid and walk away and come back, and it's still there with all my items in there. And by the way, I'm using that as an example because this is one of the text messages I got today. One of the sisters told me that she doesn't go to the mosque that often. She understands that the blessings for the Muslim woman is at home. So she spends her time here at home, hanging it, kicking it with me in the Zoom room, learning her deen. Well, today she decided to, well, not today, yesterday she decided to go to the mosque just to be around, to get that physical, as we talked about in our Wela Wabera class, that physical interaction that we need from one another. So she said she went to the mosque, just to get that physical interaction. And she said somebody stole her purse. She said she know where she put her purse at. She went back to it and it was gone. And she said all the women looked at her and said they didn't know what she was talking about. And she had a Coach. She said her purse was a Coach purse, a white Coach purse with gold emblem on it that said Coach. And she had her wallet in there, her credit cards, her money, all her driver's license. So whoever took it, they stole it and everything in it. So she said she went and to the imam and let him know, And of course, he said, I'll let the people know, and if it will, hopefully it'll come up. It hasn't come back yet. And now she had to call all her credit cards, close all her credit card accounts. She had to call her bank, close her bank account, all of this. And like she said, Sister Layla, you tell us all the time that the reward of the Muslim woman is in her home. She said, and all I wanted to do was just go and kick it with the sisters, and one of them stole my Coach purse with all my stuff in it. Isn't that sad? That should not happen to us. You should be able to go to the masajid, go to the mosque, and your property, your honor, your life is sacred. One of the brothers here, he's always complaining about how when he goes to the mosque, it's like he doesn't exist. He says, Sister Layla, I go to the mosque and I give salams to the brothers. Y'all know who I'm talking about, Brother Ahlam. He says, I go to the mosque, I greet the brothers with assalamu alaikum and want to shake their hand. They look at me like I'm crazy and they walk away. They turn their faces towards me. They back away from my hand. This should not happen with us. We're Muslims. We're supposed to be brothers and sisters in faith. So unfortunately, guys, even, we've deviated away from the true Islam. And that's why I'm doing that other class I'm doing on the signs of the last hour. We're living in those times, where the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said Islam will become strange because we are not practicing this religion. We're not practicing the traditional Islam that he came with. We've watered down our way of life. We've taken on the attitude and the behavior of the non-Muslims. And this is not how it's supposed to be. So that's why I'm teaching this class. It's all about establishing brotherhood amongst us. It's all about us being brothers and sisters in faith. Like I tell you guys all the time, it was different, when I was growing up. Remember, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said each generation of people will become further and further and further away from the true Islam. Each generation of people will become worse than the previous ones. When I was young, growing up in the 60s, we were a family. We were a brotherhood. We were a sisterhood. You could come to the mosque and it's like being with your family. We were the second family for everyone. But it's not like that anymore. A lot of stories like this. You go to the mosque and instead of being welcomed by your brothers in faith, you're isolated. The racism. Oh my God, we're back to tribalism, the racism. And of course, the people who get treated badly are the African Americans, the Black people. And that's sad. Back to how they used to discriminate before Islam, enslave based on color and stuff before Islam. The blacker you are, the less status you represent. Oh yeah, it's just sad. So that's why I'm doing this series. And yet the last time we met for this class, we talked about the conditions of establishing brotherhood or sisterhood. And let's see, before I go into today's lecture, just to see who can remember, when we talked about establishing brotherhood in Islam, what should be the reason for doing it? Can anybody remember? What is the reason that we should have? You should want to get close to me. For what reason? I should want to reach out and get close to you. For what reason? What is the reason that we form these ties with each other? Can anyone remember? Anyone? What are the conditions of brotherhood? I want to get close to you. For what reason? Cat's got your tongues in his own room. Geechee? For the sake of Allah. What do y'all think about her answer? Exactly. That's the correct answer. And what does it mean when I say that the reason I want to get close to you is for the sake of Allah? What does that mean in plain, simple English? Can anyone tell me what does for the sake of Allah mean? Everything we do, and by the way, these are the first 10 days of Dhul Hijjah. This is just like Ramadan, where your good deeds are multiplied up to 700 times. Everything we do in this world, we should do for the sake of Allah. What does that mean? Who can tell me what does for the sake of Allah mean?
It means you're doing it because, thank you. It means you're doing it because that's what Allah wants. That's what Allah asks of you, and you're doing it for Him only, not for others.
Exactly. That's what that means. Write that down, Brother Ibrahim. You got it wrong, Brother Ibrahim. Write that down. For the sake of Allah means I'm not doing it for any personal gain, not for any personal favor, not for any personal reason. I'm doing it because it's something that Allah would like for me to do, and I want to please Him. Because by pleasing Him, in turn, he will cause who needs to be pleased with me to be pleased with me. So for the sake of Allah, when we do our good deeds, why am I teaching? I am not sitting here doing this for money. I don't get no money, number one. Wish I did, but I don't. Okay? I'm not doing it for fame. Lord have mercy. I don't want to be like David Bowie. Get it? Okay? I'm not doing this to please you, because half the people don't want to hear what I got to say anyway, because the truth is always a bitter pill to swallow. So I'm doing it because it's something that Allah loves about me. It's something that will bring me closer to my Lord. I want this to be barakah, or blessings for me when I'm in that grave. Everybody understand that? So any good deeds that we do, and I want y'all to remember that, it has to be solely for Allah. And that's what for the sake of Allah means. I'm doing it for Allah, not for you, not for him, not for personal gain, not for fame. I'm doing it for my Lord. So that's the condition. When we reach out and try to establish relationships with each other, it should be for the sake of Allah. And if it's for the sake of Allah, Allah in turn, as the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us in an authentic hadith, in turn, Allah will bless that union. If we're uniting for the sake of Allah, Allah will bless our union. And that'll make it harder for Shaitan to come between us. Because if I wanted something from you, Shaitan can come between us easily. Just make me think that I can't get it. Okay? But for the sake of Allah, Allah will bless that union. And by the way, these are the people. These are one of the groups of the people that will be under the shade of Allah on the day of judgment, because they loved each other for the sake of Allah. So that's the condition of brotherhood. All of our actions, all of our interrelations with each other should be solely for the sake of Allah, not for personal gain. And today what we're going to do is speak more about this. So let me put the PowerPoint up on the screen. You wrote it down, Brother Ibrahim? He said he wrote it down. Good. Exactly. Okay, good. He said nobody explained for the sake of Allah to him before. Okay, mashallah. Well, you got it now, right? Okay. Nobody explained that to you before? Well, alhamdulillah, now you understand. They probably explained it. You just didn't understand it, because some people can't explain well. Okay. That's another thing too. Remember, we talked about that. Good brotherhood, good sisterhood. We make excuses for our brothers and sisters in faith. The Imam probably didn't explain it to you this way, but I'm sure he did, because I hear the Imams all the time speak about loving for the sake of Allah, but sometimes they just can't express themselves well, especially the ones who have different accents, if English is not their first language. I just have better command of the English language. That's all. I just have better command of the language because I was born here. That's all. Okay, so let me put the PowerPoint up on the screen. And for all the kids here, I want the kids to have me on the big screen TV. Uh-oh, I don't want to use this yet. I want the kids to have me on the big screen TV taking notes. And then the adults, use your phones to take screenshots of the PowerPoint. And people in Zoom, let me start with you guys first. There's them. And now I'm coming back. Can y'all see it on the big screen TV? Okay, I'm getting ready to bring it in now. Yeah. This is the right slide, right? I hope so. Y'all don't know. And by the way, I'm using the PowerPoints. This is from when I taught this class before. I tried to save me some time because I spent a lot of time doing PowerPoints. So it was good to have my old PowerPoints when I taught this class a few years ago. Okay. All right, so today we're going to speak more about how to establish brotherhood, sisterhood in Islam. And let's start it off. Now, we spoke the last time we met that the condition in order for it to be a strong brotherhood or a strong sisterhood is we're coming together for the sake of Allah. We're able to look at each other and see the good in each other. I love you for the sake of Allah. The simple fact that you believe that Allah ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah, your life, your honor, your property is sacred with me. And also the contract of brotherhood is a relationship that entails duties and responsibilities too. So our love for each other, for the sake of Allah, is what brings us together, is what creates the contract. And then the contract consists of certain rights. Who is that, moderators? Who is that keeps doing that on the mic? Fame, who is it?
That was Sister Muslima, but I think Zoom has people's mics open as soon as they join.
Okay, so what you do is y'all watch if anybody joins and just take them off. I'll just mute them. Okay, so the contract of brotherhood consists of not only coming together for the sake of Allah, but there are certain rights and responsibilities that we have towards each other's too that has to be fulfilled. But unfortunately, most Muslims today are aware of those rights, and but they don't fulfill them. Like one of the brothers here was saying, every time he goes to the mosque and gives salams, the brothers ignore him. That's one of the rights that we have over each other. If someone gives you the greeting, you're supposed to respond. But because Muslims today, are not fulfilling those rights and living up to them, brotherhood is declining. So what I'm going to do is review the rights. I'm going to go over the different rights that we have over each other in hopes of reinforcing that bond that's becoming more and more lost between us. And when I say rights, just like praying, those five prayers every day is an obligation. Just like wearing hijab is an obligation. Just like fasting the month of Ramadan is an obligation. These rights are all obligations too. And the first right that your brothers and sisters in Islam have over you is in regards to your money. What does that mean? Does that mean I have to give you my paycheck? No. But as Muslims, and this goes hand in hand with what we spoke about in our 6 o'clock class, remember, it's incumbent upon the leaders of the community. It's incumbent upon the leaders of the community to make sure that the people within the community are implementing wala wal bara, which is allegiance and disassociation with each other. Every leader must also be acquainted with the financial situation of his brothers and sisters in his mosque. And for you and me, on a personal level, we get to know each other. I should know the financial situation of my sisters in faith. And they should know my financial situation so that if someone needs help, we can help them in the proper way. We don't just meet each other and say, how much money you make? It's not like that. It's when we become friends. For example, like you sisters, you come into the Zoom room. You start off being quiet, trying to get to see how we are. And then as you get more and more comfortable with us, we get personal. Oh, how many kids you got? Oh, you married? Oh, okay. What does your husband do for a living? Do you work? Oh, how's your health, sister? We don't ask this all at one time, but we inquire about each other's health and financial situation. And we got an idea as to the struggles that each one of us have. So that way, if one of us needs help, we'll be there. You don't want some of us to live in abundance and happiness while another one lives in poverty and distress. When one of the sisters in the Zoom room gets sick, we know it. We check on each other. If somebody's going through a hardship, we help each other financially. Just like Brother Mukhtar, he said we needed help. Did the people in Ghana that we helped this Ramadan, they needed help again. The sisters reached in and volunteered to give Kurbana. So that's one of the rights that our brothers and sisters in Islam have over us, is the right to be helped in times of distress. If a brother cannot pay his rent, he should be able to go to the masajids, to the masjids, and ask for help. It's our responsibility to stand by him and support him. But unfortunately, this is not happening. I hear about it every day, how so many Muslims go to the mosque seeking help, and the masjid turns them away. The executive board, that's what they have nowadays, which is a bid'ah in and of itself. The executive board turns the people away. Oh, no, we're going to send our money to Gaza. Oh, no, ain't nobody in America in need of help. Oh, we got some numbskull Muslims who believe that. They believe that just because you live in America, you rich. And that's not true. We're supposed to help each other in our time of need. It's our responsibility to do that. So we have to be aware, of each other's social, financial status. Listen to what Ali, radiallahu anha, said. He said, I would rather give 20 dirhams to a brother in Islam who is in need of it than to spend 100 dirhams on a poor person. Why? Because that brother in Islam has a right over me. Subhanallah. Y'all understand that hadith? I know sisters in this website, sisters that come to my website, they don't donate to help take care of the website expenses, but they send thousands of dollars to St. Jude's Hospital. I just don't get that. There's this one sister in particular. She can't have children. It's the qadr of Allah. She went through a hardship in her life. I keep telling you, women, when you have your menses and your period is lasting over 30 days, that's a sign that something's wrong with you. But the sister didn't listen to me. She listened to the Arab man at the mosque who told her that it's istihada. It's shaitan messing with her. So she went a whole year bleeding all crazy. And finally, when she was anemic and half dead, they took her, squatted her to the hospital, and guess what? Cancer. So they had to give her a total hysterectomy. And she's only 35 years old. Her fault. Should have went to the doctor like I told her. But no, we don't want to listen to another woman. We want to listen to that Arab man who don't know nothing about the menses. So after they took her reproductive system out of her body, she can't have children anymore. She called me one day. She said, I'm not going to be making donations to the website anymore. I said, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Allah will take care of us. She said, instead, since I cannot have children, I'm going to send all my money to St. Jude's Hospital because St. Jude's looks out for the children. I said, St. Jude's is also a Christian Catholic organization. I said that is not in need of your charity. I said, St. Jude's takes care of their own hospitals. They take care of their own stuff. I said, but Sunnahfollowers is only dependent on you. She didn't get it. Well, this hadith is something to ponder. Your Muslims, your brothers and sisters in Islam have more rights over you than a kafir does. The kafir take care of their babies. Remember, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said one of the reasons why the Christians will always be a majority over you and have power over you is because they take care of their own. They take care of their poor. They take care of their homeless. They take care of those in need before they take care of you. It's a lesson that we can learn from them. And sure enough, she has never made any more donations. She's been donating to St. Jude's ever since. We have to understand charity begins at home. As the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who's most deserving of your charity? The Muslims are, not the non-Muslims. So that's one of the rights that your brothers and sisters have over you. Also, a righteous Muslim, I'm going to keep his name anonymous. He was placed in prison because of his Islamic activities. His brother in Islam divided his money between his own family and the family of his imprisoned brother. When his wife asked him, how can we get by with only half of your salary? Why are you going to take half of your money and give it to that brother that's in jail's family? This brother answered her and said, how can my brother's children go without no money at all, while my children have everything? Subhanallah. When this happened, this brother's wife called me. This is a true story. And she said, isn't my husband at fault for what he did? I said, no, sister. Do you get what your husband said? Subhanallah. Your husband's an engineer. You live in a nice big house. You have a nice big car. You have food in the house, food on the table. You got everything you need. If your brother, your husband, is going to take care of you and whatever he has left over, help that brother there who's in jail, who can't pay his rent, who can't buy his children no foods, look at the reward he's getting. She still didn't get it. But this is an excellent example of the concept of brotherhood and the rights that we owe to one another. How many of us would think that way? The brother at the mosque, he's in jail. Who's going to take care of his family? Or the brother at the mosque, he's sick, he's in a hospital, he's off work, he's not going to be able to work. How many of us think to take our paycheck? You make over $100,000 a year. So you're going to take half of your paycheck. You bring home a $4,000 paycheck. You're going to give $2,000 to him and the other $2,000 to your family. And it's not cutting anything from your family. This is what true brotherhood is, guys. But how many of us do that? So, in order to be this way, we have to know the financial situation of our brothers and sisters in Islam. And a good idea would be to set aside a monthly fund just to help those in need. And some of the sisters here at my website do that. They have a piggy bank or a piggy box where they keep extra money in. And at the end of the month, they donate it to this website. Or at the end of the month, they'll give it to the people at the mosque who are in need. We all should do that. Set aside some money. And at the end of the month, give it to a needy Muslim in our community, be it online or offline. Okay? So that's the first right. The first right that every Muslim has over another is the right to financial assistance. The second right is our self. What does that mean? We're supposed to ask about one another. Here in the Zoom room, if Anissa's missing, what's the first thing we do? Oh, where's Anissa? Anybody talk to Anissa? I tell you guys all the time, in the real world, not the virtual world, every Islamic community should have a committee, a welfare committee. These would be brothers and sisters assigned to check on the people in the community, to check on the elderly sisters who don't have a husband, to check on the single women that don't have a husband, to check on the brothers to see that are sickly, you know, to inquire about them, to make sure that everybody's okay, so you don't end up like Sheikh Atlee was in last year. Remember last year, one of Sheikh Atlee's khutbahs, he got a phone call from the police department. A Muslim woman had been dead. They found her dead in her apartment. She had been dead for weeks or days and nobody knew. Nobody checked on her, and he had to go and bury her. I mean, come on. You know, that's the right that every Muslim has over the other, to ask about me. And when you see me, to greet me with a smile. Also to make dua for me in my absence. This also entails being kind to each other, giving each other the benefit of the doubt, making excuses for each other, loving each other as we would love ourselves and our family, trusting each other, and doing away with bad thoughts about one another. This also means keeping our promises with each other, guarding our secrets. If I tell you something in confidence, I shouldn't have to worry about it getting out to everybody else. And again, checking on each other if we're sick. As Muslims, we're supposed to bring happiness to one another's heart. And we're supposed to keep the conversations that are private just between us. And we're supposed to defend each other from harm and race to help each other. Just like last week, y'all saw what happened last week. I didn't know what was going on when I had these brothers from the Ash'ari, which I didn't know what they were, Ash'ari belief system attacking my website. Every time I go live, they were coming here. I didn't know what was going on. They were bad-mouthing Sheikh Kareem Abu Zayd, remember? Then they were bad-mouthing me for teaching his books. I defended him. I protected him. I defended his honor. And then the next day, I was so out of it. Y'all saw how stressed I was dealing with that situation because I'm a woman. A woman can jihad, but we weren't created for that. I did my jihad. I got rid of those dudes. I knocked them down. But it took a lot out of me. I was beat. I was broken almost. And then the next day, y'all see I came in here and y'all remember all them brothers was in here? Brothers I hadn't seen. Even Ferris was in here. That's what got me. I had people in here from Saudi Arabia, from the United Arab Emirates, brothers who are famous names that I never talked to. They were here and they said, we here, Sister Layla. We got your back. Any Ash'ari coming here, we gonna deal with them. We gonna deal with them. That's how the Muslims are. We're supposed to defend each other. And we're supposed to race and run to help each other. That's the right that we owe each other. The true believer understands this. And for the true Muslim who understands the concept of brotherhood, they would never find pleasure or happiness in your hard times. Those brothers that came in here, many of them, I just know of them because they're famous personalities on the internet. They just came in here like that. They didn't rejoice. They heard what happened. They saw what happened with those Ash'ari dudes. And they just came in here and said, not today. Y'all ain't going to do it today because she got backup. And she ain't got to speak Arabic. What that one brother say? She don't have to speak Arabic. We speak Arabic. We are Arab. What did Ferris say? I am Arab. He said, I am Arab. So bring it. They didn't bring it, did they? Okay, that's brotherhood. That's sisterhood. So we have to also remember when it comes to fulfilling our brother's rights, we have to remember to never remind the person of what you did for him. Say, for example, I give you $1,000 to pay your rent. You do something that makes me angry. I can never throw it up in your face. Remember when I gave you that $1,000? Okay? And also, if you really love your brother or sister in Islam, you want to give them the best advice when needed, not the worst. And also, when you see your brother or sister doing something wrong, you want to give them the best admonition. Pull them to the side and advise them or admonish them. And also ask about his family. How's your family doing? How's your children? How's your mother? How's your husband? And always protect the honor of another Muslim. Always protect his property. Listen to what Al-Hasan al-Basri, one of the Tabi'een, listen to what he said. He said, our brothers are more beloved to us than our family and children, because our family reminds us of the life of this world, but our brothers and sisters remind us of the hereafter. Subhanallah. There's also a hadith where the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, your blood ties are stronger. I mean, your spiritual ties are stronger than your blood ties. You guys listen to this life of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught by Mukhtar. Y'all see how those companions were like a family. They fought against the Quraysh. The Quraysh were their fathers. The Quraysh were their sons. The Quraysh were their brothers. But they didn't care. You know, my allegiance is to my Muslim brother. You're an enemy of Islam. I am not going to choose an enemy of Islam, even if it's my blood brother, over my Muslim brother. Listen to what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. Whoever relieves a believer from a distress in this world, Allah will relieve you of a distress on the day of judgment. Whoever brings comfort to a believer who's going through a hardship, Allah will bring comfort to you in both this world and the next. And whoever conceals the shortcomings of another Muslim, Allah will conceal your shortcomings in this world and the next. Allah will always help a person as long as that person helps his brother in Islam. This is a beautiful hadith that we need to implement in our everyday life. Subhanallah. A lot of you sisters will say, oh my God, my life has changed. Ever since I found this website, ever since I've been coming here, listening and learning and kicking it with Sister Layla, my life has changed. It's gotten better. Even though my tests have grown, Allah is testing me more, but my life is better. I don't have the hardships I had with my finances. Money seems to always be here, whereas before money was a problem. That's because of the ease that you are bringing to other Muslims here at this website, the donations. That's why donating for the sake of Allah is a serious thing, because that's really the biggest hardship. The biggest hardship for all of us to face is financial. Y'all know that. And you're alleviating the distress from me and the people here at this website by keeping us on the internet. Oh my God, that's a good deed. And you're also benefiting the Muslims around the world because of your donations. The Muslims can join in and learn their religion in its truthfulness with the understanding of those companions and not no mathab or no sheikh. Subhanallah. Also, a good thing that we can do that will help to fulfill the rights of our brothers and sisters in Islam is make a dinner party for your brothers, a dinner party for the sisters. Mashallah, at the masjid where I go to, I saw that they had a potluck for the brothers. Brothers night. It was just the brothers. They had a big potluck, and boy, the pictures were nice to see. Mukhtar and all of them, you know, all the brothers coming together and kicking it and eating, you know, their food. This is how you build good relationships, having a nice potluck for the sisters. That's a good way to fulfill our rights, plus to check on each other and inquire about those sisters and brothers that we don't see all the time. Also, another good thing we can do is make visitation schedules. This is for the Health and Welfare Committee. The Health and Welfare Committee of your masjid. Check on people at least once a month. Let's make a schedule that once a month, I'm going to go and check on the single sisters in the community. And the person on that committee are the sisters, of course. You sisters got your own committee. The sisters have their health and welfare committee, and the brothers have theirs. So, you know, once a month, we're going to go to the single sisters and check on them, visit them. The elderly sisters who don't have husbands, we'll go visit them. And we're going to keep the visits short because everybody likes their space. Also, make dua for each other. Remember, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whoever relieves another Muslim of a distress, put that in practice. Pray for each other. Pray for the health and welfare of one another. Okay? And finally, for today, another right, the third right that we have over our brothers and sisters in Islam is our speech, guarding our tongue from hurting our brothers and sisters. Remember, the life, the honor, and the property. The honor is my reputation. You can't go around hurting one another, backbiting each other, slandering each other. Don't allow people to come to you and complain about another Muslim, because all that's going to do is taint your heart against them. And this is what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam would tell the companions. He said, oftentimes you brothers will get into disagreements and you get angry. So you'll come to me telling me how mad what this person did to you. He said, don't do that. Don't come to me telling me what this brother did to you, because I want to meet you with a clean heart. I don't want to have to look at that sister over there, you know, and don't like her. I just don't like her because I heard what she did here. No, don't do that. Don't complain about another Muslim. Okay? And also, you know, don't reciprocate wrongdoing either. Just because that sister backbit you, now you're going to backbite her. It's not a tick for tack. We shouldn't tick for tack each other. Instead, we should try to emulate the man whom the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, there will be a man of paradise who will enter among you shortly. And this man described by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was the man who every night before he went to sleep, he would purify his heart of any hatred, any jealousy, any grudge that he held against another Muslim. In other words, this is a man who refused to go to bed angry at his brother in Islam. He would forgive the person. That's a man of paradise. That's a woman of paradise. Remember, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if you conceal the shortcomings of your brother in this world, Allah will conceal yours in this world and the next. And again, we have to remember that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, you will never be a true believer until you learn to love for your brother what you love for yourself, that you treat your brothers the way you'd want to be treated. Does everybody understand that? That means be free of suspicion and instead think the best of each other. We have to make every effort to only say the truthful things about each other, to not lie on each other, and don't go around speaking badly of each other. Talk to each other in a good way and make dua for each other. Subhanallah. So those are some of the rights. Those are some of the rights. Those are some of the rights that we owe over each other. The right to help each other financially. The right to guard each other's shortcomings. The right to help each other in our times of need. The right to only speak well of each other. To conceal my shortcomings, not expose them. And this is a big problem today because a lot of Muslims are trying to expose each other.